In my city, we think we made a meaningful progress in making Nijmegen more inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. So I'm happy to tell you a little bit more about the way we followed in the last years. So let me start with a small introduction of Nijmegen. Nijmegen is a mid-sized city with about 180,000 inhabitants on a rather small surface. As you can see, the city has quite a feminine character because our university offers a lot of social studies, which traditionally attracts more women than men. And the last figure on this slide, what do you think this number could represent? Maybe you guessed it well, maybe not. It is the amount of bikes. And every resident in our city has 1.4 bikes at home. And this is an average, of course. Nijmegen is also one of the oldest cities in our country. About 2000 years ago, the Romans started a military base on our grounds. But nowadays, the city has a young vibe with a lot of students. The city was also awarded Cycling City of the Year in the Netherlands in 2016. And we say if you are cycling city of the Netherlands, then you could say you're also cycling city of the world as well. In the next minutes, I will tell you more about the reasons why the European Commission decided to award our city, till then the smallest city on the list of green capitals. I will show you our perspective and our position as a local government towards our citizens, and I will give a few examples. And to conclude, I will say a few words about the lessons we learned in the process becoming a green capital and how we made the green capital year 2018 so successful as we thought. On this slide, you can see all the green capitals till now. And you can see there's still no white spot in Poland. But I really hope there will become one in the near future. But the question was, why Nijmegen? And if you want to become a green capital of Europe, you have to report on 12 environmental issues like climate mitigation and adaptation, noise reduction, air pollution, clean mobility, and so on. In the Netherlands, we have more cities with high environmental standards on most of the 12 issues. But the jury members of the European Commission, for them was most important the engagement of a wide range of stakeholders is in the sustainability agenda of the city. Big energy and waste companies supported our participation, and also a lot of other institutions like the university, hospital, event organizers, and several citizen groups were involved. And all these organizations, more than 200, played a role in our sustainability agenda. And we are facing big challenges. We have to change our lives on several domains. In Nijmegen, we divided Sustainable Development Goal 11 in 5 themes, and all of them have great impact on citizens. But maybe the main question of today, what is the real secret of Nijmegen? Or is there no secret? And can any ambitious city become more sustainable and even win this award? In other words, what is the business model of Nijmegen Green Capital? Let me try to give a beginning of an explanation. Based on a general view of the Netherlands School for Public Administration, we made a distinction between 4 perspectives on government. Maybe the most traditional one is the regulating role, making laws, permitting, enforcing, that kind of stuff. But in the 80s of last century, the performing perspective on the government's role became more dominant. The public administration is setting targets and try to achieve them as efficient as possible. The third one is much more based on support from stakeholders. Partners and citizens are consulted, but the initiative is mainly at the government side. And the fourth perspective on government is probably the newest one. It's based on the idea that the public administration uses the energy and power that's already present in the city. The administration asks where they can help, but doesn't take over the initiative. I will give you a few characteristics of this responsive role. A responsive administration is searching the energy of people in the city, is speeding up procedures, is giving the right example, is a launching customer for innovative projects, is gathering extra funds, is making connections, is partner in living labs, etc. And is also promoting and endorsing bigger but also smaller projects. In this role, the government is not initiating the process of participation, but is participating in projects and societal initiatives of stakeholders. A question to you all and the organizers: do you think this conference is also an example of the fourth perspective on the government's role? Please use the chat for your ideas about it. Let me be clear, all four roles are important, but you cannot miss one. But I think that a lot of local and national governments don't recognize the responsive role. For us as Green Capital, it was the most important one. We had to work with small budgets, much smaller than former Green Capitals, but the impact of Nijmegen Green Capital, striving towards a sustainable city, is in my opinion not smaller. From sustainable healthcare to sustainable tourism, sustainable churches to sustainable music festivals, from tree planting days to eco schools, and from sustainable procurement to veggie days, in every part of day life, people can make a difference. And now I would like to give you a few examples, and all very related to create a livable city for and with our inhabitants. One is about climate adaptation, one is about clean energy, and one is about spatial development. The first example. This image gives some context on the water levels in the Netherlands. If the sea level rises for about 1 meter and the river and sea dikes would fill, more than half of the country would be underwater. And we had serious trouble in the 90s because of rising water levels on the river. The people living in 250,000 houses had to be evacuated. It was a real wake-up call. Yeah, and some people accept their fate. But in Nijmegen, we did not. We made a new channel, accelerated along the riverside. We had to demolish more than 50 buildings. We had to build 5 new or extended bridges, and it was an investment of 350 million euros. At the start of the project, people were very angry about the impact of the plan on their living area. But it changed when the local government took over the initiative and took the objections of the people seriously and started to use the knowledge and experience of the citizen groups. And now people love the new nature and recreational opportunities. And I have a few slides for you to show the new project and the new urban river park. At the right side, you see the new channel and also the new and extended bridges, just opposite the old city center. Another example. I remember a meeting a few years ago about the development of a wind park in the northern part of a city. The spatial planning procedure was almost done at that time, but there was still no support in the neighborhood. A local group of citizens took over the initiative and was far more successful in getting support in the neighborhood. And in the end, people living in the neighborhood became the owners, shareholders of the project and invested themselves. So there are now 4 big wind turbines, and now the same people are developing a new solar project of 5 hectares. And a nice idea of them was to put the names of all the shareholders on one of the wind turbines. My last example. Also in the northern part of the city, we are developing new living quarters. Most of them are very comparable with other housing projects in the Netherlands, and I must say, quite boring to look at. But in one part in the northern area of our city, we experimented with a rather new concept, with much more possibilities for newcomers to influence their new homes and their new future neighborhood. Now they had a free choice of the size of their building lot. They could build with a group or alone. There were living and working spaces developed, and there were hardly any rules on visual quality. Also, social housing projects were part of the project, and there was a residents association that was responsible for developing the public space. There were a lot of initiatives that with people who were building their homes very sustainable, and now it's a totally different project from normal Dutch system building. And I met already a lot of foreign visitors who told me that this living quarter feels like a paradise to live in, and they want to move to Nijmegen. Now I came to an end of my story, and you can hear that I'm proud on the sustainable results we achieved. But these results aren't the results of the local government, but mainly from all the stakeholders, professionals and volunteers in our city. And these are our green capital. So the lessons we learned are quite clear. You can see them on this slide. To conclude, more focus on the sustainable agenda of cities isn't only important for a climate resilient world, but can also bring people, companies and institutions together. We learned that their contributions are as important as the policy of national and local governments. So this is my final message to you all. Look at the power of all your stakeholders. Connect them, learn from them, and bring them together. And I wish you all the best and good luck in making your cities sustainable and resilient. And also important, stay healthy. Your city needs you. And I think you will succeed in doing so. And if I will bring you a bunch of Dutch stroopwafels to you.